Like, yo, it's so good to see you, dog. Like, you come through.
It's mad weird, dude. It's mad weird.
I am a professional mountain bike rider. I have been ranked #1 in the world for the last 3 years.
You're #1 right now.
Had some big wins over the last few years, and yeah, just trying to do my best to represent Lincoln out here in the.
Okay, you gotta be political. You don't have to be political. I know we got cameras on here.
What's up? It's Nicholi Rogatkin, and this is my Platinum Hour.
Water, earth, fire, air. Long ago, the 4 deer nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the fire deer attacked. Only Derek, master of all 4 elements, could stop those boys. But when Boston needed him most, he vanished into the enchanted golden deer forest.
Season 4.
I mean, maybe that's what we'll just start with is you just explaining what's on your arm.
Oh, this
Hey, make sure you keep like it.
Is it good?
Yeah, let me see.
This Boston tat.
Yo, I have not seen that ever. What? You really are Boston's boy.
It's the 4 Boston. I feel
So
like
which camera should he signal that to? Yeah, put it to that one. Oh God!
I feel like it's rare though.
What is that scab?
Oh man,
you really got that turf burn.
I just got back from shooting in Italy. Had some rough crashes on rocks there, so that's just from that.
Oh, you're biking on rocks?
Yeah.
Wait, so to be honest, I had no idea you were this canvassed up, like in terms of tats. I thought you had a couple. Damn, you really went crazy with it, bro. Wait, let me.
Yeah.
What else we got here?
A few different things. Boston Bruins tat here. Slingshot for
Slingshot
Rogatkin, because
Slingshot BMX.
Rogatkin means slingshot in Russian, so
That's where it comes
that's
from.
where it comes from. You know from back in the days.
No, but I didn't know. Yes. Okay. So for reference, listen. This is my guest today. I'm gonna turn mine down just a little bit. My guest today is a close friend of mine growing up. I'm extremely impressed by his ability to remain egoless through all his successes. Honestly, I mean that.
Cheers, dude.
Dude is still mad grounded, and he's one of the most accomplished people I know at our age. Shouts to you, the young snagger.
Thank you, my brother.
I don't know how it happened, but you're that guy still, and you're putting our town on, and I'm trying to do the same. And let's keep it going.
You are.
Let's keep it going.
Let's keep going.
But remember, we'll never lie. We are from Lincoln. That's the bag, Colin. What's that? We will never lie. Does it say Lincoln in your Instagram bio too?
Of course.
So
Lincoln, always.
To my right, my close friend on his second episode. The first one was literally a shit show. Let's hope this one's a little bit better. Is Nicholi Rogatkin, aka Neeeeyyyyyaaa. Do you want to explain kind of who you are and what you do?
Yes, I am a professional mountain bike rider. I have been ranked #1 in the world for the last 3 years.
You're #1 right now. Let's fucking go.
Had some big wins over the last few years, and yeah, just trying to do my best to represent Lincoln out here in the.
Okay, you gotta be political. You don't have to be political. I know we got cameras on here, but a lot of the things I'm hoping people can allude to our last episode is that this dude Nicholi. It's when we were growing up, he was always heavy on the BMX. Then he moved to the heavier bike. But it was when in high school, we had talked about this a little previously, but there was a loop period for you where things weren't as like you didn't really know where you're gonna take it, and then you were like, "Yo, it's time to just kind of sack up and go big brazy," right? It was 18, 19 was when you started moving like nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say there was quite a testing period right after. Right before graduating and right after,
that's when you moved to new bikes.
Yeah, where I had to move up to the bigger bike and win some contests. But But I just wanted like that lifestyle so bad, and wanted like to have a shot at being a professional rider so bad. I wanted it ever since I was little, so I feel like
You had
it was
to do
just
it.
destined.
Well, yeah. So have you thought that now with like a couple of your big wins, like, yo, honestly, this is all kind of like, this is all predetermined. Like, this is kind of what was supposed to happen. Do you think that ever? Are you big on predestination?
Yeah, I mean,
It's not an ego thing. It's the truth. I believe it sometimes too. I'm like, yo, if we were to talk like in third grade, we would probably think we were going to be in the positions where we're at now. I would say. Would you agree?
oh, I don't know, man. That's hard to say.
I think
that's
we
hard
probably-
to say.
I think I would definitely be doing. I don't know exactly where I'd be. I was like, I knew I was gonna be doing something in Boston, and I knew it was gonna be on an entertainment tip. Like, I knew that. I mean, you knew you were gonna be riding bikes, bro.
I was dreaming that I was gonna be on my bike, but I was just appreciating the lifestyle as it went on. I feel like just trying to get to like that next level and like hoping to get to like that highest level one day. So I feel like it was not as much expectation as like, yeah, I know I'm gonna get there, but I was like, oh, dude, I hope because
You pray?
definitely have said prayers before like dangerous events where like the conditions are bad and the jumps are gnarly and you know there's like a chance that you could get fucked up. It's like definitely say a prayer before you drop in. Otherwise, I don't know. I think most of the boys are saying a bit of a prayer before they drop in.
You need
'cause
someone on your side, bro. I'm
for
not
sure. In some of those scenarios, for sure.
You're talking about like the Rampage, like the
Rampage,
so Frankfurt-
Joyride, just the biggest like contest with like the pressure on and with like just the dangerous elements jump wise and wind wise. That's like there's a lot of gnarly injuries that can happen. So when it's more than just the nerves of the performance, when it becomes the nerves that come in with like the injury potential, like when you're doing really dangerous shit, I think that's when the prayers come in really, because
That's when
you really
you
realize
do a
it's a
couple
real
of these.
shit. For sure.
So you're a big believer in God?
I mean, my grandparents, Russian grandparents, have always been super
You're babushka.
super religious. Yeah, Grandma Babushka.
I didn't know that,
She's
really?
super religious. Yeah,
Christian?
Yeah. I mean, Russian Orthodox.
Oh, I didn't even know there was such a thing. Where's the Russian Orthodox church around here?
There's some in Boston.
You would go
There's
growing
one.
up?
Yeah, I went to like Russian school right next to the church. I went to the church.
Oh, how
I mean,
old?
my parents were never so big on it, but also religious. But I don't know. So I'm definitely a believer, not as religious as the grandparents,
devoutly.
obviously. But I mean, how about you, bro?
That's a sign. That's a G-minute. Wait, before I move on, Frank, just come say hi quick. Get up here. Frankie Films is in the building. He's helping produce. We're trying to get him on camera more. He's a handsome dude. The shorties love him. But alluding back to that, I think our generation, I feel like everyone's parents were more into like devoutly being religious. Don't you think so? Like, I don't think how many people do you know really our age who are still really heavily religious and are like still going to church consistently? Not many, right?
Man, not so many.
Maybe different parts of the country though.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
But what I mean is like when you've ascended to certain points in your career thus far, has there ever been points where like, yo, I'm literally busting my ass like so heavy, I'm trying to make it happen. I'm gonna like pray to the cosmos and say, please make this happen for me.
Ooh, I don't know. Rarely saying prayers like that, because it's in the sport. It's kind of like you can't like wait for something to happen. You gotta like go make it happen. Whether it's all like riding, so you gotta take those risks. And before you take those risks is when you say those prayers. You know, so I guess it's a bit of a different
Yeah.
thing you're praying for. You're praying for like
Don't die.
safety, and yeah, don't die when I go. I like, please let me not die when I go try this and try to like further my career or just do this thing that's gonna make me pumped rather than like make this happen for me. So it's a different type of prayer, but I mean, for all sports, I feel like
So
it's different.
yeah. So you've had one of those recently where you've like, yo, bro, I might get my shit fucked up on this. Has that happened recently in a competition?
I mean, we've had one big contest this year, like one that counts towards the world championship, and that was down in New Zealand. And I messed up my first run. I did the whole run and then crashed in the last jump. And
With bad crash?
Yeah, like fairly bad crash, but the second run I was just going all in, like trying to win the event, and definitely said a prayer before that one. Unfortunately, crashed the second run as well. Massive crash, but I was
How
good,
bad?
so prayer worked.
Yeah, when was the last time you really landed on that neck, though? I mean, like really.
I've had some bad crashes this year at shows I've been doing, but luckily we have like fairly soft landing for some of those big tricks that we do. So when you like rotate your shit or like you get kind of worked, the soft landing saves you a bit at least. You know, you're not doing that neck breaker, but
yeah, I mean that neck though. Dead's ass.
I've had some bad ones. Last time I had a neck lander, man. I don't know. It's hard
I'm
to
talking
say,
about that Gronk neck smack. You remember that? We caught that shit in the end zone.
For sure.
Smack zone. See you. So yeah, before we'd gone on air, I'm not too knowledgeable on the sport. I was trying to study as much as I could, just so that some people who are following the sport can at least kind of get some insight as to what's been going on this season. Because you are mid-season, correct? Mm-hmm. And what are you on, like a 2-week hiatus right now from competition?
Yeah, just a little 2-week break right now before the next big one, which is going to be in Innsbruck, Austria.
Whoa. You mean Shorty Nation.
For sure.
Dead's ass, my bro. Hey, this is John. Big J.
What up?
Yeah, it's early. So, so where are you currently situated in your season? Is it the middle of the season right now? And how does the season work? Is it kind of like the PGA where there's like 10 different competitions and someone wins the PGA Tour at the end of the year based on how they place in every competition?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. I mean, it's the FMB World Tour, the Freeride Mountain Bike World Tour. There's like between 10 and 15 events overall, but then it's just usually 3 of those events that count towards the World Championship. So there's like these events that serve as qualifiers and points for the big events, but then those 3 big events are the ones that really matter. So we've had that one down in New Zealand, and
which one was that?
That was Crankworx New Zealand, and now we have the next one, which is also Crankworx. It's Crankworx in Innsbruck, Austria. Last year, I was able to win 3 out of the 4 events, which got me the Triple Crown, which is the first time that's ever happened. So really, last year was insane season, so I'm super pumped on that, and just pumped to. But you want that to go for it again this season? But yeah.
Wait, so where are you positioned right now? Wait, so you had one of the 4 qualifiers thus far, correct? Is that what you're saying?
No. So the first event down in New Zealand is Crankworx New Zealand. That's one of the 3 events that count towards the World Championship.
And that has
year.
happened.
That has happened. Unfortunately, like I said, I crashed out in both runs. Ended up 9th. Okay. So I'm gonna have to redeem myself at the next 2 events.
So, yeah, is that ever like painful for you that it's like totally a matter of circumstance? It's like you can just have bad runs. It's not really like you have like a full season. You got like 3 shots to make it happen for the most part, right?
Yeah, for sure. But that's what you kind of work on over the course of the season to be ready for those big moments. But for me, those big events, they mean just as much to me as like some of the other shows I've been doing. Like I've been doing so many Masters of Dirt shows this year. And Masters of Dirt is... Oh,
they do showcases now.
Yeah.
Nicholi's been going to these Masters of Dirt since he was like 16.
Even earlier, man. I've been in Masters of Dirt since I was 13. It's the craziest European show ever, full of motocross, quads, snowmobiles on dirt. And yeah, it's like the craziest partying ever. So yeah, that all that stuff, like that lifestyle, like...
That's a mod tattoo?
This on my leg here is an MOD tattoo. Yeah, just because I've been part of it since I was...
You don't gotta cover it, bro.
You're out here looking at my thigh all the time, bro.
Looking good, dog. No cap. Yo, when did you get the blonde tips?
I just got that recently, bro. Just earlier this season.
Was it
dyed it?
Yeah, was it a thing like, yo, I'm just gonna bring some new energy this season type thing?
I don't know. No, a few years ago out in Colorado, my friend DJ Brant and I.
Shout out DJ Brant.
He's from Colorado. He's one of the sickest riders, ever actually. He's
He does freestyle as well.
yeah. He rides the same stuff I do, the slope style, and he also did his first Rampage last year. But we dyed our hair before one of the big contests in the U.S. a few years ago.
Which one was
out in
that?
Colorado Freeride Festival. So we dyed our hair like the night before the event, and the next day, I won that event, and then he had a sick run as well, and it was just vibes. So earlier this season had a string of like some shit results, and just decided to dye the hair again, change up the vibe, you know.
Frank, is that AC gonna get picked up on the mic at all, you think? Let's hope not. Yeah, I just wanted to say you're an amazing young man.
Cheers, dude.
Yo, so do you don't think that's at all Euro influenced, the blonde tips?
It is for sure Euro influence, yeah.
Because I've started to notice that in your swag too. Like you've started to become like much more Eurocentric.
Well, the industry is just so big there in Europe, especially in countries like Austria and Germany. There's just so many kids that are so pumped on riding there, and just the scene there, and all like those ski resorts are just turning into these epic bike parks, and just some of the biggest events we have are there in Europe, and some of the sickest riders in the world are also in Europe. So yeah, I spend a lot of my time there. There's a lot of influence. But
a lot of parties there too. Yes, sir.
The partying is insane there. I mean, it just goes nonstop.
Is it totally different than like a Boston party? Like, what's the difference in structure of party? Is it starts at a later time, or
I feel like it just starts at a later time and has like no end. But there's a lot of different partying in Europe as well. Like, I would say I was just recently like in Zurich, and like that's kind of like a bit similar to Boston, like very expensive, and like people like to like
bougie
dress, very bougie there in like Zurich. But then in some of like the mountain towns in Austria, that's just like, it's not bougie at all. People just go forever. Is it a difference in liquor? Wasted, super crazy.
Like, are you drinking something different out there than you drink here?
Nah, it's similar liquor. It's always vodka, tequila, rum. It's always a different mix now.
Anything.
I don't like vodka as much as a typical Russian should, because I've had some rough experiences with vodka, as everyone probably has. But
would it be allowed in your sport to get a booze sponsor? Like, could you have someone? Has that happened yet?
That's happened in previous years, and actually one of our biggest events in our whole sport, Red Bull Joyride, is massively sponsored by Kokanee, which is a massive beer company in Canada.
Where is Joyride? Vancouver?
It's in Whistler, which is about 2 hours, 2 hours north of Vancouver. One of the sickest places ever.
I remember I was on a cruise out there and I'd seen it. I sent you a picture. Don't you remember that?
I do not.
Okay. It was like 3 years ago. I'm surprised.
I was making shit up.
Bro, I was on a cruise to Alaska, and there's a big ass park. Nonetheless, so I'm surprised you haven't like explored that avenue in terms of sponsorship yet.
With beer
or any sort of booze.
Man, I mean, it would just, the only tough thing is that you would have to make sure it's proven as a after type of thing, because we can't
drink on the job.
You know what I mean? We're not gonna drink and then go ride. Like that's something you can't really advertise. Like, that's just.
But are you at the point now where are you like totally selective about the sponsors you've been taking on? So Nicholi, for reference, has been like sponsors since like 13, 12. Like, how long have you been working with companies who've been paying you to rep them?
Yeah, probably since I was like 12 or so.
Who was the first one?
My first ever pro contest, but like Diamondback bikes way back in the day.
Are they still around?
Like maybe, yeah, I guess so, but not so much in the mountain bike world. I've been, ever since I started riding mountain bikes, I've always been specialized. Shout
out the sponsor. Shout out Specialized. Shout out Fox.
No. Alpine started.
Oh yeah, well yeah. Say what's up to your sponsors in case they listen.
Alpine Star, Specialized, X Dubai.
What are the gloves?
SRAM, Michelin tires, Ninjas gloves.
Oh, Michelin do the tires now?
Mm-hmm. Masters of Dirt, big shout out.
Oh, so the competition sponsors you exclusively?
No, I mean, with something like Masters of Dirt, it's like they're not only a show company, they've always been like kind of a lifestyle brand. So like a lot of the athletes, since we do like a lot of the shows, they have like massive their like TV show in the past, you know, they've had the apparel. So but with different companies and different shows, it's always different. Like Crankworx, even though it's some of like the biggest events in the whole sport and like they determine the world championship, like they don't sponsor the athletes particularly, they just like put on the event, you know. So it's very, like the industry is pretty interesting in that sense.
So while we're on the sponsor tip, so when we were on the phone, what was most interesting to you as I was talking about sponsorships, because I have like something coming up for myself, and you were saying that a lot of these sponsors will incentivize their riders. This will be the LinkedIn clip. A lot of these sponsors, whoa, can you hear me still? Yeah, we're good to go. A lot of these sponsors will incentivize their riders based on their placement. So I was thinking, why? Obviously, these companies want their riders to win. So how do you renegotiate after such a winning season with the company? What do you say to them? Let's say they say, hey, you have X amount of dollars, you get first this year, cool. But don't you leverage your winning record? Does this make any sense to you? Do you renegotiate after having a very winning season? With your sponsors? You
definitely try to renegotiate after having a winning season, but it's a type of industry in that you never know which way the companies are going to go, because there's so many eyes on so many different parts of the sports, just because mountain biking is actually such a broad sport with the different racing elements and the different people riding the different bikes. And then we have slopestyle, which has loads of eyes on it entertainment wise, but there's not necessarily that many people buying slopestyle bikes opposed to bikes that they're just going to be like riding the normal trails on, you know what I mean?
How do you gauge that though? How do you gauge how your performance has affected sales? Do you? As an athlete, are you looking at that?
You definitely try to look at that, but with mountain biking, I think it's also not as much about that as it is for company image. Like a company is not necessarily going to sign an athlete because they want that athlete to help them. Like they need that athlete to.
It's a legitimization type thing.
They don't need that. Like they're not trying to get that athlete to like help them
sell bikes,
sell their stuff. They more want that athlete to win stuff on their stuff for company image, because then their company looks rad. And that's happened like over the years with companies that have had winning athletes on their bikes. It definitely does that. You know, if the best athletes in the world are winning stuff on those bikes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, on my end, that was a really dumb question, because it's just like Venus or Serena Williams, like with Nike. It's just like, okay, these dope tennis players. Yeah, how did you get the Reggie Miller tip? How did that happen, bro?
Yeah, Reggie is actually
he's like a serious biker, right?
Reggie is a huge mountain bike, not only a mountain bike fan, but a mountain bike rider. He rides and races and he shreds. It's so sick to see.
How big is his bike?
It must be massive, man.
That's that custom tip.
Yeah, must be an insane one, because he's so tall. But when he came over to
Reggie Miller. Yeah, bro. He's like boys to Nicholi. Yeah.
So Reggie now, you know how he's like one of the main commentators for TNT
with Shaq.
I don't know if he doesn't comment, like he's like commentates the games. Yeah, he's like on the court. So one game he was coming over, I think it was the season opener for this year.
You were at the Beltics?
What?
You were at the Beltics? You were at the Beltics, right?
Yeah.
Courtside?
Yeah, no, yeah. So I don't know who they were playing in the season opener, and Reggie posted on his Insta that he was going to be commentating the game. So I hit him up, and I was like,
in the DM?
Yeah, I hit him up in the DM, and I asked him. I actually asked him if he was coming to ride here, because there's some dope spots here to ride.
Oh, so you had known he was nice?
Yeah, no. I was following him, and then he had followed me, and actually commented on some of my stuff, which I was like blown away by.
Yeah, what the hell?
But then when I hit him up in the DM, he hooked me up with tickets. He invited me. He had one of his like producers come get me from my seat and come see him on the court, and he was just like the nicest dude, and I was so pumped on it.
And you were like, "Yo, bro, you're OD tall."
I was like up to his ribs, man. But it was crazy, man. He almost like was acting like a fan of me. It was like I couldn't believe it, man. He's such a mountain bike fan, so that was crazy.
Wait, so he doesn't actually? This dude Reggie Miller's not doing backflips on the bike though, right?
I bet he could. I would love to try to teach him a flip. I would love to try. He's racing, man. He's doing like endurance races. He's good on the bike.
Oh, so he's on the Tour de France tip, or what is he actually doing?
No, like cross country type of stuff, like bit of like uphill pedaling, like bit of downhill riding.
Some Highland mountain type.
Highland has probably some more technical downhill stuff, but they definitely have some stuff that Reggie would be able to ride, for sure, man.
That dude probably goes so fast.
Reggie, I'm sure, dude. I would love to ride with him one day. I don't know if I'll be able to. We'll see.
Reggie, if you watch
Shout
this,
out Reggie.
my guy Nicholi. So, have there ever been any other like mainstream celebrity endorsers of the sport? Because for reference, for anybody that listens, the sport is extremely Eurocentric right now, and it seems like you've been touching out a little bit to South America as well, right?
It's actually crazy in South America. With Masses of Dirt, we did a show in Chile, and Chile is actually shockingly one of the biggest fan bases on all of our social medias. Like when we went down there, all of us boys checked social media and checked like the top countries and top cities social media wise, and Chile and Santiago, Chile is literally number one on all of the mountain bike riders lists.
Why is that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like there's a scene there. Like there's like a few dirt jump spots that we did visit there that were super sick, and there's some good BMX riders there, some good skate parks. But man, it's like the craziest scene numbers. And
is it mostly when you check your insights? Is it mostly dudes who like it, or is it like a fair share of women?
It's definitely mostly dudes. For overall with mountain bikes, it's mostly dudes. For downhill racing, there's definitely some girls that are shredding and riding absolutely incredible, but for the jumping aspect, it's mostly the guys.
So in the crowd, is it mostly like what age dudes are watching?
Probably
15 to like 24 type thing?
Yeah, 15 to even older, 15 to 35 range. Like
so
a lot of riders.
There's some 35-year-old dudes out there like, yeah, I love this guy Nicholi. Does that ever get a little weird?
They're pumped on it. No, I mean,
Yeah,
there's
honest,
different types of fans are always dope. I don't know. They're kind of like fans are always motivating, dude. It's like you go to all these different places and like I don't know. They show so much love.
Do you ever feel like pressured because of certain fans? Like there's an innate pressure for you to put on because people have popped out.
For sure. Like when you go to a certain place and the fans show love and they're pumped on you being there. They say they're pumped on you being there, and like you even see like the same fans year after year. Like sometimes see like the same little kids, like they're growing up more and shit.
Dude starting to hit puberty in the crowd.
Yeah, it's pretty funny to see like fans like that, and then you definitely feel pressured because you obviously like see
you want to put on
that. Yeah, you see like they're pumped on the event, and like that's what keeps the event going. Like fans like that keep the sport alive and keep the sport moving forward. So you obviously want to like make them pumped on the sport. You know?
Yeah, I get it. So we talked about this a little bit last time, but how do you start ushering the sport into a market like Boston? Like Boston specifically. I don't even mean the US. Like how could you make this shit more poppin' over here for yourself?
I mean, there's a lot of insane riding spots around here, mountain bike wise. A lot of good bike parks.
Like commercialize it though.
Close.
Like really commercialize it.
Like the best way would obviously be to have an event like something like District Ride. You ever seen like the District Ride videos from Nuremberg? Like that insane event in the city, like 75,000 fans.
That was one of your events.
That was like one of the biggest events.
Oh my god!
But that would be insane. Yeah, for sure.
So what does that have to take to happen? You just gotta like get the sponsors on board type thing?
I don't know, man. It's honestly like a country like Germany, like the scene is so insane there, and that event's been like something that's been happening. I don't know. They've had it since the 2000s, like 2006. I remember they had it. So it's like been a lot of years in the making with insane big event like that. But now it's just massive. So how soon would it be coming if it was to come over here? Man, I don't know, but we got an event up in New Hampshire at Highland Mountain Bike Park this year.
Shout out my girl Miranda.
Yes.
She's still working up there?
Yes.
Shout out Miranda.
It's gonna be.
You shout out Miranda too.
Shout out Miranda. The event's gonna be.
Yeah.
The event's gonna be.
You having fun this far? You having fun?
Of course,
All
brother.
right, good. Frank, you doing okay? Is this one interesting for you? Yeah. Good. I'll be honest, bro. I don't know if you can catch me blinking, but I've been over here like blinking.
Are you blinking crazy right now, dude?
I don't know, man. I'm big lip blasted.
You're always saying that, bro.
Yeah, so for reference, little side reference, as we keep going here, Nicholi had a party at his 8th grade crib, and I just like dawned on me. I don't think your parents were there, were they? We were out here wilding.
No, man.
That's how we showed you. That's how we knew you were crazy early.
Mm-hmm.
But do you remember we climbed up on your roof?
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of access points to the roof of my house.
Absolutely. But that view's incredible.
Yeah, dude.
You've been up. Oh, well, yeah, you got the jumps over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you hit those recently?
Yeah, actually, I had some of my first sessions there the other day.
Into what, the big pillow?
Yeah, I have like the more BMX setup on one side of the house, which started like way back in the day when I had just moved there. It was just like one jump, which my dad had built for me. Oh, it was just the one jump first, like onto like a kind of a soft landing, and then the foam pit came. So it was like the foam pit and like, so the foam pit to learn the tricks, and then the jump with the soft landing to do the tricks. And then
it's
that
insane.
setup,
It's
that setup
insane.
grew. Yeah, you've seen.
Look up his Instagram. So Nicholi's dad's a skilled contractor / carpenter. So he has this elaborate set off, dead ass off the side of his house.
Yeah, it took a long time to get there because it was first the setup on the one side of the house kept growing. Yeah, it became like one big jump with like quarter pipe, and then became like a big like ramp with the spine ramp in the middle, like super crazy BMX style setup. And then we actually got rid of the foam pit, and then that's when the structure came in on the other side of the house, literally off the side of the house into the airbag, which is pretty wild, but it's essential for big trick training for mountain bikes.
What do the tenants think downstairs? They're like, what the fuck is the zoo of a crib?
I think, yeah, the neighbors are probably pretty blown away, but I mean,
are there still neighbors downstairs?
Yeah.
Dope or whack, dope or whack.
Yeah, good.
Dope.
Oh, good. And then, yeah, but the neighbors around, like, I feel like they're pretty weirded out, and then they'll walk over, they'll watch me do a few runs, and then they seem to realize that I know what I'm doing on there, so it's more chill to them, and it all becomes...
You see it, Frank?
It all becomes normal.
Yeah, I mean, that shit's crazy. You're a great guy, though. Do you still have the BMX padded bike for the trampoline? You still use that?
Of course, man. Trampoline bike is every BMX kid's dream.
Oh,
it's like the funnest thing of all time.
I think we tried to do trampoline scooter once.
Trampoline scooter's also funny, but tramp bike.
You ever thought of like switching over sports, like going to another extreme sport? Because I mean, some of the skill set must transfer a little bit, right? Transfers
a little bit for sure, but I mean, I basically had to make the transfer from BMX to mountain bike, even though I tried to do both of them full on. I wanted to compete fully in BMX and fully in mountain bike.
But you had to commit to one.
I had to commit to one to max out, and I just felt more at home in the mountain bike world. But that switch, already just switching the bike and switching the industry and having to ride a different jumps is already tough. Tough in a sick way. Like, it feels really dope to like learn almost a new thing and like challenge yourself with it. So it's an insane challenge, but it's tough.
You got much stronger, I'm sure, because of the heavier bike, right? Yeah, are you a little bulkier now? Like, do you weigh more than you did in the BMX days? How tall are you? 5'1"?
5. I know I've always been shorter than you, but
I'll tell you, 5'8"?
5'9".
Okay, my fault, bro. You gotta be so pissed, dog.
How tall are you, my dude?
I'm 6'3", bro. Clean.
6'3", get out of here, bro. You'd be like the tallest dude in mountain biking.
I'd be that Reggie Miller. Me and him would be in the same weight class. Double backflip, bruh. So yeah, are you a little bulkier now though? Because you get a little thick.
I mean, I guess so, but it's not like a sport that you necessarily are better at just because you're stronger. You know, like the bulkier dudes like to hit the ground even harder. You know, when they crash, the dudes that hit the gym heavy. So it's tough sometimes in that sense.
Are you still on your body weight training?
Strength.
You still on like your pull-ups?
Yeah, I mean a bit, but it's definitely more on the bike training. Like, the more you're on the bike, the better, because otherwise, like, you can't work those same muscles like the same way. I don't know. It's just such specific training with like all the landings and like the way you pull for tricks. I don't know. It's just so specific. So the more you're on the bike, it doesn't really matter what bike you're on, but as long as you're on the bike, you're training the right muscles. So
pause.
That's more.
Yo, so my guy Niata, you know, my guy over here Niante, he growing up, he was always, we talked about this a little last time, was always just like in dope shape because he was frequently training before school, right?
Yeah, but that was literally all my dad back in the day. Like, my dad was that insane Russian coach. Like,
get your shit together, Niante.
He was like always on me to be training. Definitely paid off in the set. Like, I wouldn't have done that myself. Like, there's no way I could motivate to train that way. But he pushed me pretty hard training wise, so definitely paid off in the long run. But yeah.
But Niante, dude was out here just like whipping out pull. You still have the record?
Probably not, man.
Let's go back today.
I think my little brother went to Lincoln School. He broke it.
Your brother broke your record?
I think he broke the record,
pissed.
yeah.
You're pissed.
I think someone broke mine, and then he broke that one though. So he got it back.
Oh, he got it back for the fam.
He got it back for the fam.
Shout out to Alexi.
Yeah, shout out to him.
How many did you have at the time? Because I remember
24 or something.
Oh yeah, you know. How was it? Was it this grip or was it switch grip?
No, it was the required forehand grip.
Can you still? How many could you do now?
More for sure, dude.
You could do 30.
For sure.
No way.
Yeah, how many could you do, bro?
Well, weighted. I can do like 7 reps at 60 pounds around my waist.
60
weighted pounds.
pull-ups. I have never done that.
I'm trying to get hot, bro.
All for the looks, all for the ladies.
Absolutely, bro. There was a time in high school where, you know, like everyone was training for strength, and I was like, I'm like not a good athlete. Shouldn't we just like train to be hot? And so that's kind of all I really go for nowadays. I mean, like people were frowned upon for doing beach workouts. I was like, bro, we trying to look sexy. You feel me? What is your diet like nowadays? You still eating that garbage?
Yeah, dude. Honestly,
I came through with that tater tot blaster.
We don't focus that much on diet in mountain bikes. Honestly, with our sport, it's pretty good because there's not really that much focus on like diet and athletic training, and like there's not really any coaches. There's not really any like specific coaches involved, so it's like freestyle. And I think like one of the biggest aspects of the sport is mental. Like
you just gotta be a fucking psycho and do it.
Yeah, but you gotta like be psycho enough, but like psycho enough to go for it and send it and try like big stuff, but also like have that skill to not send it and destroy yourself. You know,
not that
so like that crazy spike.
That Gronk spike.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, knock on wood, that never happens to you.
But I had some big. The sport comes with crashes. You can't like.
You had a viral crash.
You can't. Yeah. I mean, sometimes crashes are good.
Have you been viral since? Have you?
With some of my run videos, I reckon.
Bigger than the big smack.
Oh man.
Nicholi fell off like a 60 feet.
No, it was less than that.
40?
But probably like 40.
Nicholi
Yeah.
fell off a 40-foot cliff. And deadass walked away with just like what, a bloody forehead.
I caught my face on a bunch of rocks trying to stop myself from falling. So that was the only injuries I had.
Where are the cuts? Forehead?
Like all over my nose and forehead. And
yeah,
face
you
and
looked
shit,
like a
my
fucking
lips
beast though. That's my fucking dog right there, bro. Shake my hand like you just secured the bag. That's how you do it. give me a good shake like you just secured the bag. If you ever gave me that shake in a contract, I'd be like, yo, it's a dub, bro. I won't be like, yo, hey, nice to see you. Let's do this business. You see how Trump does the handshake sometimes? He'll be like this. He's like, yeah, literally. Get the fuck over here. You see him do it.
Trump pull.
It's a masculinity thing. I'll tell you another thing. Like, go like this. If you just turn it a little bit. It'll feel weird, right?
Little weird.
Or like, give me a hug. Give me a hug. Give me a hug.
You know?
No, give me a hug. Give me a hug. I'm just gonna keep my hands right here on your lats. You know what I'm saying? This one right here. Like, yo, it's so good to see you, dog. Like, you come to hug.
That's weird, dude. It's mad weird.
It's so right, though.
Pause.
Pause!
This man's out of control.
Yo, dead ass. I got some blue cheese moms waiting. Only you know what that means, bruh. You know what I'm thinking of? You know what I'm thinking of those blue cheese bombers? You know.
You're fucked.
Did I talk about it last time, that story?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, shit. I'm trying to think of another fire story from when we were growing up. What was some absolute classics? Did we talk about the DC trip at all?
What happened? What happened on the DC
That was just a
trip?
classic ass
DC
trip.
trip was crazy, bro.
That shit was big brazy. That was still. I recall that like those couple weeks coming from after 8th grade, like was a very fun time. You remember that? Because we're like, oh my god, we're gonna go to high school. Oh my god, what the hell's gonna happen?
Yeah, dude. Lincoln Town did not prepare us.
Not
for
at
high
all.
school.
We were not ready.
We walked into a zone of.
Got our
we were
innocence shattered.
Yeah, but it's good. Look at us now. We're good. We're fine.
Yeah, we're normal.
Yeah.
Lincoln. So, Frank, we went to a regional high school, and there are like 40 Lincoln kids show up to the high school. I'd say 40, 50. And then there are about 400 Sudbury kids for the most part. So Lincoln kids are like vastly outnumbered. And Lincoln kids are normal, just weirdos, man. Like me included, honestly.
It's all good.
So, question. All the dust settles, right?
Yeah.
8 years. Are you still competitively riding in 10 years? I mean, I don't want to put a cap on you at all.
I mean, there's definitely older athletes in the sport. So I'm 23 now. So there's definitely dudes that are in there.
Me too. But keep going.
Are you?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, dude. We're born one day apart.
That's fire.
It's good.
I know. Where were you born?
Where?
Boston?
I think so.
You feel weird about that?
Yeah.
All right, my fault. So continue.
What were we talking about?
You're saying about 10 years, will you still be riding?
Oh yeah, but there's dudes competing in their 30s that are riding top notch level. So those, like obviously that's ideal, but it's very injury dependent. Like, there's a lot of like the best dudes in the sport like that are not even in their 30s yet or in their early 30s that have just had some like unfortunate leg breaks or knee stuff or shoulder stuff that just, you know, over time that shit doesn't just play with your
Wears
body,
down,
like plays with your mind and shit as well. And, like, you start up families and stuff too, and then the risk like doesn't become worth it. But ideally, yeah, in 10 years we'll be sick to be still competing and still doing this, because obviously it's insane lifestyle and like,
And you love it.
it's dope. It's insane. It's unbelievable.
You could be the Tom Brady of bikes, bro. What if you're on that bitch till you're 50?
Tom Brady is like
What if you're on that bitch till you're
top-notch
50,
guy.
though?
So you're 50, man. I don't know. That'd be that risk, man. Those bones get brittle.
Bruh, that'd be fire, though.
That'd be insane. Maybe we'll have like those irreplaceable body parts by then. You know, you never know.
Oh, shit. Bionicle boy.
Yeah, that's that future, bro.
You believe in the simulation?
What?
You think we're in a simulation?
No.
You don't?
No.
It would kind of suck if we were, right?
It's just not possible. It's
How is it not
just
possible?
It's just simply impossible.
How could you prove that it is impossible?
I don't know. Just
You can't.
we've been just like the way.
There are a few things that make me think that this is a possibility of a simulation. And I'll elaborate, because you sound crazy when you say shit like this. But
You do sound crazy right now, my bro.
my bro Kini. Bruh. Humans evolved so much faster than any other species ever on Earth. Ever. We evolved like this, bro. In the relation to the planet. How long have humans been around? Can you do a fact check for me, Frank? Is that possible on your phone? Could you just see? I think humans have been around for 50,000 years. The planet is 5 billion years old. 5 billion. Correct?
Yes.
How are we the most advanced species on the planet ever?
Because we're the first species that can apply our knowledge in a way that we can build, like, look at this stuff that's, like, built and, like, being spoken into. Like, all of this stuff is insane. No other creature or animal that, like, walks around out there can even come close to building something like this. You know what I mean? So that's why.
Simulation, bro.
No way, bro.
How long?
You're out of your mind.
200,000? And the planet is 5 billion? That's a Billy. It's JC Billy.
How do you know that the planet's 5 billion, though? How could you not believe that but believe the simulation? You're out of your mind, bro.
Think about it, dog.
No. No,
So
we just have, like,
what is your
applicable
theory?
knowledge.
What is your theory on the creation of matter and consciousness?
What do you mean?
Why are we here, bro?
Why wouldn't we be here? We're just along the chain. So.
You feel me?
What do you mean?
Bro.
It's evolution, man.
I know what you're getting at. I don't know what these faces mean, bro.
Bro, what I am not. I'm just playing devil's advocate here because this is what a lot of simulation thinkers would think. But are there any facets of humanity that you think, that is a little weird and it does seem a little predetermined? Do you know what I'm saying?
Nothing seems predetermined.
Zero
things.
So you think everything is everything's manipulated by humans? You are in complete control of what's going on in your reality.
I don't really understand the question, but if I'm understanding correctly, then I would say yeah.
Okay, so you think that everything that's going on in the planet is humans doing, and there's no other outside power that's influencing it?
Outside power controlling humans? No. Because humans are by far the smartest creatures to ever roam this planet. Nothing else could ever control us.
And then a simulation theorist would say, bruh, you feel me.
Okay, I get where you're coming from, but that's what I believe.
So there's
You can sway my beliefs if you desire.
Well, no, I honestly, I'm like totally open to like learning more about it. There's actually a conspiracy theorist in Boston who I wanted to have come up and like actually talk about it. But I don't really understand at a certain point, like, there are some. Have you ever had things in your life where it's like, wow, that seems like too good to be true? Like, I can't believe that happened. I mean, you've experienced a different life than most. Have there ever been moments where this almost seems like a movie? Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, loads of times. And then you go back and think about it, and it's so ridiculous that you would even think that. That, like, when you go back and think about it, and you're like, there's no way that could ever be predetermined. So that's happened to me a lot of times, actually. That's probably why.
Elaborate.
I believe it so little, you know?
Like, what when does that happen?
I don't know, like, your team wins a championship, you know? Like, the year we beat the Falcons in the Super Bowl. Like, with the comeback.
It was wild.
You're like, this is too insane.
Well, what
like,
about your competitions, though?
Same. Like, you have a big win. Like, you crash in your first run. Everything seems shit. You're all down on yourself. You're like, my life is ruined. Like, and then suddenly, like, you're just winning. You're on top of the podium. You're partying insane. Like, you're like, it just goes from, like, so bad to so good.
Polarity.
And then you're like, wow, there's no way, like, that's real that just happened. And then you just think back, and it's just the way your mind makes the moment feel with all that adrenaline and stuff. Like, that's just why it seems that way. But this is dope. It's sick how it feels like that. I think it's sick.
Frank, you ever had moments like that? You're like, I can't. This doesn't even seem real. I've had a couple moments like that where I'm like, dude, this seems like super real. No, not.
Have you had the opposite though? Like, when they seem like not real, you're like, this is too bad. Like, this is too shit. Like,
this is too beat.
Yeah, like, this can't be this bad.
Yeah, for sure. When I was much younger, yeah. Why, you've had one of those recently?
No, not really.
Like, this is a major L.
Not recently, but yeah, for sure.
So, I think people should have that ability to at least dig into your mindset a little bit when it comes to hard work, because like, you're at the top of your industry, but in terms of athletes, the lifestyle, it's not like you're like a rigorous like trainer. It's more a sport based on adrenaline, correct? and like your willingness to go for things. So where does the competitive spirit work into that? Because I feel like if you wanted to be the top of your sport, you would be like clean cut diet, wouldn't party.
Well, the thing with our sport is I think it's honestly very performance based. Like there's a lot of sports which you have to do a lot of training, and then that training will show in the event. Like endurance type of stuff. Like you gotta train for it, and then like if you haven't trained, that's gonna show up. But in our sport, in sport like slopestyle, I'm sure it's pretty similar in ski and snowboard slopestyle, that it's like it's about performance and making it happen in the moment. Like doesn't matter how hard you've trained for it or like any of that. It's like
it's just showing up.
If you can make it happen on that day in those conditions against the field of riders that's there against you, like can you make it happen in that moment? So that's why I feel like
that's like a lot of extreme sports.
Yeah, but that's why the extreme sports lifestyle is the way it is. There's a lot of craziness involved. Screw it. A lot of partying involved. Not as much training, dieting, as you said, which might make us healthier, but more just appreciating the lifestyle and making it happen.
So you think there's
in the moment?
There's a sense of the lifestyle where it insinuates all this adrenaline and craziness that you kind of need to perform.
Yeah, because you need to appreciate the moment. You need to love the moment. You need to be hype in the moment, because that will make you motivated to make it happen. Because when you're on the start ramp and they call it like it's your turn and it's you against the course, nothing else, like nobody else can influence it. It's just you against the jumps that they've set up for you. You got to try to win. You got to try to do the best out of everyone. So you have to love that moment, and you have to love everything about that moment, the before, the during, and like the after, to motivate yourself to win events like that, which is why I think the extreme sports people and lifestyle is so like adrenaline filled and so like crazy, rather than like strict diet and stuff like that.
But what I'm saying is, if you were to like just eat OD clean and like, you know, like do like shuttle runs, mile runs, all that shit, you don't think you perform better?
I'm not necessarily saying you wouldn't perform better, because there's a potential of that, but there's also I feel like there's a threat of like having the wrong motivation for the moment, you know? But I get like...
What do you mean?
It's hard to explain, because if you're training that hard, like with the running and the training and the physical gym stuff, and
a looseness to it, kinda?
It's kind of like that's not what the legends of the sport really seem to have wanted, and that's not what the sport is about. It's more like a very heavy entertainment based sport, like more gnarly, crazy, sandy, sometimes even a bit sketchy is like the thrill, rather than like the clean, precise,
sense, yeah.
Exactly.
But someone could come to your sport and brand themselves like that, I bet, because it's probably open space for it.
Oh, totally. But
someone could come in just like fucking ripped up, totally fit, like clean cut haircut, not too shaggy, and he's like, "Hey, I'm the machine."
There are athletes like that, and they're very successful athletes like that. But
like
they're
Simon
still
Dumont
different.
for skiing. Do you remember? He was like very heavy on his training.
A lot of skiers have been very heavy on the training, but like I'm just not saying mountain bikers aren't heavy on the training. It's just a different type of training, because it's training like those crazy tricks, or training like those massive drops to be ready to hit them like in gnarly conditions. It's like a different type of training. It's not necessarily training your body. It's training like everything about you, like your adrenaline levels, your fear.
It's like, how crazy can I get up here without getting actually nuts?
Exactly. My dog.
I feel you, my bro scat. Let me get in there, bro.
That's bad.
I had some questions written down. So actually, I'm gonna cut the LinkedIn clip up now. You ready for it? Watch how professional I ask this. And as soon as I put my hand down, just cut it. Ready? So Nicholi, I'm one more time. Ready? So Nicholi, I'm young and in business, and there seems like there's an influx of one more time. Ready?
Oh my God!
I just want to make sure it's clean for LinkedIn. Ready? So Nicholi, it seems like in American pop culture, there seems to be a shift in consumer preference in terms of people really liking the X Games. You know, they secured a deal with ESPN. In terms of people really liking the UFC, they also secured a deal with ESPN. These are both extreme sports, correct? X Games is a host of sports, but the UFC. What is it going to take in the American market to make consumers want freestyle mountain biking?
Honestly, mountain biking has everything that it needs, like the entertainment aspect of it, the trick level. I would say it's as good, if not even better, than sports that are in X Games. Like a lot of people watching events like Red Bull Joyride and the other Crankworx stops, and events like Rampage. Like, the entertainment level is so high, and the athletes are so insane. Even athletes that have competed in events like X Games before are competing in like these Crankworx events.
So it's just going to take one big event?
So I would say, yeah, mountain biking was in the X Games in Munich a few years ago when the X Games did try the world tour, but then the X Games just did that world tour for the year. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I mean, the big thing is that we have the free ride, the free ride FMB World Tour, and that world tour is so legit and been going for so many years, and the prestige behind that world championship is so high in our sport that, like, we're not necessarily looking to get into something like X Games, but it obviously would be rad as the more eyes on the sport, the sicker, basically, obviously, because, you know, we love being part of the big show. I think the mountain bike world definitely can put on a show. The athletes can for sure put on an insane show.
Oh, soon. What happens soon? You got to click something? I'm about to get kicked out of the studio anyway, so we're going to wrap it up. You got anything you want to... let me look at these. First off, tell everyone where they can find you.
Nicholi Rogatkin on Instagram. That's my main outlet. But like I was saying earlier, we didn't really get to it. Insane event in New Hampshire, Highland Mountain Bike Park, July 21st. But I'll send you a link if you want to put it in. It's gonna be insane mountain bike slope style event.
Go again, because Frank cut you up the clip for it. Go sales pitch mode. Ready, set, hike.
Insane mountain bike slope style event coming in New Hampshire. Highland Mountain Bike Park is going to be an iconic course. Some of the best riders in the entire world coming to ride this event. Don't want to miss it.
Date.
Insane partying. July 21st, Highland Mountain Bike Park. Send it.
I'll be there.
My God.
Okay, so listen. With that being said, Mikey Buckets is here. One sec. I'll just text him. Okay, cool. With that being said, I just want to make sure I hit it on everything. Okay, blah, blah, blah. How did you link up already? Bike days. What inspired you? How you try party life? LinkedIn. Okay, cool. All right, so with that being said, I'm running it shorter. This was Frank's advice. He says, yo, man, you're running those episodes too long, so I'm going to run a little bit shorter. You have a good time? I had a great time. Now me and Nia are going to get out of political mode, cut the episode. Me and him are going to go enjoy ourselves and talk and introduce you to Mike. But with that being said, a slingshot BMX still a thing? Is it still active?
On YouTube?
Still active?
Yeah, but main channel is definitely Insta. Insta right now is the hype.
10-year-old does crazy tail whip. Is that the big one?
Yeah, that's there's a few of them. There's like the main one's probably like 13-year-olds were at Woodward or something. Woodward is the stomping grounds back in the day. It's where all the big tricks were learned.
That's where those shorties were at too.
The gymnast and cheerleader shorties, that is where they were at.
Yes, sir, my cuz. All right, so we're going to wrap it up. But listen, if you are listening to this episode, I hope you enjoy it. And if you are not listening to this episode, you wouldn't even hear what I'm saying. But with that being said, to my right, I have a young... Oh, wait. This is how we started it. Hi, I'm Nicholi Rogatkin, and this is my golden hour. Or platinum, your platinum hour. Hi, I'm Nicholi Rogatkin, and this is my platinum hour. Directly after No Break. Hi, I'm Nicholi Rogatkin, and that was my platinum hour. This is my platinum hour. That was my platinum hour.
Okay, first,
this is my platinum. But with that being said, hey, man, Nicholi, I'm going to preface it. He's at the top of his sport. and he's extremely humble, and he's given me a lot of business advice over the years, and he's also showed me, like, if you're starting to gain in what you're doing and you're starting to come up a little bit, just keep it humble, man, and just be the good guy because it will always work. I learned that from you, so thank you.
My guy.
So go ahead, bro.
What's up? It's Nicholi Rogatkin, and this is my Platinum Hour. What up? It's Nicholi Rogatkin, and this has been my Platinum Hour.
That was totally wrong. You got to go again.
Okay, you got it. How did I get that wrong?
Hi, I'm Nicholi Rogatkin.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite mountain biker. And this is my Platinum Hour. Directly after No Break. Hi, I'm Nicholi Rogatkin. And that was. And I aced the MCAS. Deadass. I remember you had mad good scores.
On MCAS?
Yeah. You were kind of nice.
It's because Vlad was like, bro, if you don't get this MCAS, then you ain't riding your bike anymore. And I was like,
I was like, dog, that MCAS, bro, that shit's pointless. All right, that was. Ready? 3, 2, 1, sit hike.
What's up, it's Nicholi Rogatkin, and this is my Platinum Hour. Hey, it's Nicholi Rogatkin, and that was my Platinum Hour. Did I nail it?